It is Friday, April 25th, 2025. Stack of news here today. So much going on. Make sure that you're paying attention to what's happening in this economy, what's happening socially. I want to start with this first article today. Education Secretary Linda McMahon. We have almost $1.7 trillion in student debt. And now you have the Trump administration saying it is time to pay up. It is time to pay your debt. There are people, I was watching some videos today, people carrying student loan debt saying that you should pay their debt. That if you disagree with that, F you. It's unbelievable. They believe that by you paying for their college tuition, it's making the country better, that more people are getting educated, and it's just you putting back into society. So, you know, if you didn't go to college, instead you became a carpenter, a plumber, an electrician, whatever path you chose, maybe you just couldn't afford college, you're a truck driver, you're a police officer, whatever the case may be, do you really think you should be paying for somebody's education who chose to go to college, more than likely chose to go to college and got a worthless degree? Now they're $80,000 or $100,000 in debt and they want you to pay for that debt. Do you really feel obligated to that? Why should I pay? I got enough to pay for. I get taxed on everything. I pay taxes every year. I go to the store, I pay taxes. We got utility bills. We got gas bills. We got to feed the animals. We got to pay, car insurance. Who do these people think they are that we should be paying their bills? $1.7 billion and no collections made since 2020. The borrower owes this, not the taxpayer, not you, not me. But think about that. $1.7 billion, no collections made since 2020. The student is liable. My question is, why is it taking so long for these people to have to pay their bills? You miss a house payment, you miss a credit card payment, they're going to be calling you pretty quickly, right? They've had 5 years, no collections. It's more extend and pretend. It is time to pay up. It is time for you to pay your bills. This is not political. You borrow money, you pay, period. You sign on the dotted line, you pay. Here's one today from Fox Business. China is caving to Trump's trade war strategy, expert signals. This from Gordon Chang. China is not imposing tariffs on aviation products, industrial chemicals, and semiconductors. They're basically caving, but they don't want to say that they're caving. I don't know. Do you think China's caving right now? I don't think they are. I hope they are. I want America to win this trade war, but I don't think China is caving. And I think that this is going to be a very, very difficult trade war. Here's another one today. An industry insider explains why the coming shortages are going to be so crazy. The U.S. imported $438 billion worth of goods from China last year. Tariffs on Chinese goods are now so high that it makes no sense for Chinese companies to export products to the U.S. Container bookings are plummeting, and retail CEOs are warning that store shelves will be empty. Our economy cannot function normally without Chinese imports, and now most of them will no longer be crossing the ocean. It takes 30 days for those containers to get to Los Angeles, 45 days to get to Houston, 55 days to New York. So we're about to see the effects of these shortages. We'll begin to see them around May 10th. Trucking is going to dry up. Warehouses will lay off. Shelves will begin to go empty, starting in the West Coast first, then moving towards Houston, then to the East Coast of New York. Chinese factories make things that we don't. And one thing, people will say, well, just buy American. Well, we don't really make anything here. And I'm all for building factories here in America, but think about how many years this is going to take to build these factories, get them up and running. It's going to take years. So I don't know if the American people have that much time. I don't know if they can suffer that much pain. It's going to be very, very interesting. Some of the things that we import from China, dollar-wise, we import $9.78 billion in shoes just from China, $9.99 billion in clothing, $12 billion in steel and iron. We import $16.85 billion in vehicles, $30 billion in toys, $82 billion in appliances, and $19 billion in plastics, and it goes on and on and on. We import so much. I would love to see factories being built here. I would love to see things made in America. Maybe it's just a dream. Maybe it's possible. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I just, I'm losing faith in the American people. Sorry if I offend you, but I see a lot of weakness in America. I see people that cannot, be 1 minute away from their phone. I see people that are addicted to reality TV and Netflix. We have adults, spending their tax returns going to Disneyland. We have a very obese nation. We have a nation dependent on pharmaceuticals. We have a bankrupt nation. These things are not very positive for America, but this is the reality. I'm not bashing America. I love this country, but let's be real. This is where we're at. This is not the America from 30, 40, 50 years ago, that's for sure, or 100 years ago. We are not as tough as our grandparents. We've gotten very, very soft. We have a majority of people now who need to be told what to do. They cannot think for themselves. Trade war shock looms for Port of Los Angeles as Goldman identifies most impacted products. Beginning Sunday, scheduled import volumes into the Port of Los Angeles are set to decline sharply. Truckload volumes have already dropped to 2018 levels. Chinese exports are being crushed as well. We're going to see what happens at this end. So right now, the exporters are being severely injured, crushed, whatever you want to call it, affected. Now we'll see how it plays out around May 10th, mid-May, when those ships are not showing up with products and we begin to see some empty shelves here on the West Coast. We'll see how the consumer, not the exporter, but the consumer, how they respond to this. Buy now, stock up, or delay. Here's what consumers are snapping up for putting off in face of tariffs. This is on CNBC today. We're seeing fueling, according to this, fueling car purchases. I don't see anybody on the car lots, but they say that we're seeing fueling car purchases across the country and iPhone upgrades. Now, are people just using this to justify to go out and buy a car and knowing that they're paying too much for it, or to go buy a new phone? I don't know. I think they're just justifying these purchases. But this reminds me of what happened during the health crisis when we were being told you better hurry up and get a car, you better pay over MSRP for the car because there's just not going to be any more cars. So you better hurry up and get a car. And so they're doing whatever they can to sucker people back onto the car lots. Do you really need to upgrade your iPhone? Do you really need another phone? And as far as cars, we have a lot of car lots out here, a lot of dealerships, and I drive by them every day and I don't see anybody out there. So the next question would be, how are people affording on average, a $50,000 new car, a $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 pickup truck? The economy is horrible. So do you really need a new car to get ahead of the tariffs? I don't know. Comment down below on any of this. China cancels U.S. pork shipments after tariffs raise prices. This is definitely going to hit meat exporters here in the U.S., but I don't know. Are they really caving? They just canceled U.S. pork shipments. Comment down below. Fast food chain closing up to 200 underperforming locations. Who is it? It's Jack in the Box. Terrible food. In my opinion, toxic food. Stay away from this stuff. But this is how bad it's getting. Jack in the Box is some of the cheapest food you could eat, and yet they're closing 200 of their restaurants. Thank God it's Friday. TGI down to 85 restaurants. 85 restaurants. I remember any town you went to had a TGI, right? They were everywhere. They're down to 85 restaurants. So I don't know. Am I living in the twilight zone? What is going on here? 1 minute, I'm watching the television today. Markets did fairly well. NASDAQ was up over a couple hundred. Dow was up a little bit. Bitcoin's up. Gold had a little pullback. Probably a good time to add to the metals. This is far from over. The tariff news that they're putting out there sounds good, but at the end of the day, we are so bankrupt. We have so much debt, and nobody's really talking about the debt and how we're going to cut spending and get this debt down. So gold's not going anywhere. The BRICS nations aren't going anywhere. The central banks are going to keep stockpiling this stuff. And again, am I in the twilight zone? Because the economy seems to be on life support, yet the stock market goes up, and we're hearing that the tariff war is already winding down. We don't have one deal yet from any country that I know of. And it doesn't even matter if we had 10 deals or 20 deals right now, because at the end of the day, the only deal that matters is the deal with China. Market Watch, more Americans teetering on the edge of bankruptcy. Here's why. Well, it's debt, years of inflation, higher interest rates, and people are just being overwhelmed with bills. They cannot save money. They cannot get ahead. They're working multiple jobs. And of course, you have a section of the population out here today going to Stagecoach, paying hundreds of dollars for a weekend pass. We had 2 weekends of Coachella Fest, $600-700 for the basic weekend pass. They're paying tons of money for hotel rooms, tons of money for travel, for food. And so you still have people just, spending, doom spending, whatever you want to call it. But I went by Texas Roadhouse the other night, and you cannot get a parking spot in the parking lot, packed. So if you look at the concerts, you look at Texas Roadhouse, you would say everything's just fine, but more Americans teetering on the edge of bankruptcy. And people are loaded down with debt. And now they're going to have to start paying back their college tuition debt on top of their credit card debt. What were these people doing for the past 5 years? Why not just go out, get a job, and start paying your bills? What you should have been doing over the last 5 years, but you didn't do it because you were hoping we would all have to pay for it. Pathetic. But it's unbelievable. Some people are just spending like there's no tomorrow, and some people are working 2 to 3 jobs, paying their bills, doing whatever they have to do, and they still cannot get ahead, and they're trying. And that's who my heart goes out to, the people that are working hard, trying, paying their taxes, doing everything right, and they just can't get ahead. And these people are getting absolutely crushed. I have no pity or sympathy for people out there going to concerts, buying $8 lattes, taking the weekend vacations, going to the bars on the weekend, and just living like there's no issue. And they're using buy now, pay laters, they're using credit cards, they have student loan debt that they wanted us to pay for, and these people just don't want to accept what is going on, but they do want you to pay their bills. Which states have long foreclosure timelines? This is on lawyers.com. I could not believe this. You talk about more extend and pretend. You want to know why there's no real panic out there? I mean, certain people are panicking, but why we don't have this a nation of panic right now? Because I think if we really knew to the extent of the damage in this country and just how bad things really were, people would not be sleeping at night. And there's already a lot of people not sleeping at night. But we are watching the manipulation of data, this extend and pretend. States that had the most extended average timeline for completed foreclosures, and this goes back to the fourth quarter of 2023. I'm sure 24 is worse. I'm sure 25 will be even worse, but Louisiana, 3,015 days to complete a foreclosure. Hawaii, 2,505 days. New York, 2,099 days. Wisconsin, 1,989 days. Nevada, 1,750 days, just to name a few. How many homes right now should be in foreclosure but are not? See, this is, they're not wanting to scare people. They don't want to alarm people. They want you to be comfortable, relaxed. Nothing's wrong. Don't worry. Don't get nervous. Everything's fine. Just your daily dose that everything is okay. Just keep going out there in the economy and spending with your buy now, pay laters and your credit cards. How many homes right now should be in foreclosure that are not? They are not telling you how bad this is. This is unacceptable. Louisiana, 3,015 days to complete a foreclosure. Nevada, 1,750 days. We're talking years. How many people are behind right now over 90 days on their mortgages? Who knows? We're not being told the truth. How many cars are really being repossessed every day? How many people are really homeless? How many people really are unemployed in America? What's the real inflation numbers in America? And how big is the US debt? It's way over $37 trillion. They're not giving us the real data. They don't want you to be alarmed. They want you nice and comfortable. And when they pull the rug out on this thing, the people who are brainwashed, comatose, zombies, they're going to pay a huge price. USDA directs states to make sure illegal immigrants don't receive food stamps. The United States Department of Agriculture told states on April 24th to take steps to make sure illegal immigrants do not receive benefits under the SNAP program, food stamps. Why are hard-working Americans and taxpayers paying for this? Why are taxpayers paying for college tuition debt? This is absolutely disgusting, repulsive. It should be absolutely illegal. State agencies must now verify citizenship for applicants. Why weren't they doing this before? Why do people accept this? Why should it be allowed that somebody can come from any place on planet Earth, come here, and then have the taxpayers of this country pay for their food, pay for their food stamps? We've been paying into this for years, and yet I look at the people in North Carolina, the people in LA County, all this devastation, hardworking people in this country, business owners, people working 3, even 4 jobs, going, I need help, I can't get any help, but we're helping people from all over the world. We're paying for their food, and then we're giving them $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 debit cards. We're giving them hotel rooms. I mean, again, am I in the twilight zone? Do you think that this is okay? There's too many people in this country who need help. We cannot, and look, I have sympathy, I have compassion for human life. But, you know, to offer people a plane ticket to come over here and then have us pay for this is absolutely wrong. It really, really is. This country is, this is what I worry about. It is so corrupt. People are so confused, dumbed down, and comatose. And there's a lot of people in this country that believe this is okay, this is good. But they're typically the ones that don't even work that you're paying for. Funniest thing I've read all day, Elon Musk mocks Zelensky for claiming every US taxpayer dollar is accounted for. Zelensky said every dollar has been meticulously tracked and accounted for. Musk says, what an audacious statement. We know it's gone to pensions, war profiteering, corruption, yachts, mansions, Ferraris, you name it. Wasn't it just, I don't know, a couple months ago when Zelensky said that they only got half of the $177 billion that we sent them? What happened to that? Now they can account for every penny. But a couple months ago he said that they only got half of the $177 billion. And I will repeat this. I will say this again. This guy, Zelensky, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, from what I can tell, from what I can see, this guy does not want peace. He wants to extend this war. He wants more money. He wants to enrich himself and his friends at the cost of human life. And it's disgusting. Why there's no peace right now? He is the main culprit. Last article, the Sunbelt housing market is so weak, the largest U.S. home builder pulls back. The spring selling season started slower than expected for D.R. Horton and many, many more. Southeast sales went from 6,985 last year to 5,180 this year. These are the year-over-year numbers. So that's down considerably, down 25.8%. So housing seeing trouble. It has definitely slowed down here. I talked to somebody who worked at a restaurant yesterday, and they said business is very, very slow. So I don't know if things are going to pick up, when they're going to pick up, how they're going to pick up. I really, really don't know. But I'm looking out here and I see a lot of people renting places for Stagecoach, and the party goes on, I guess. I find it, just amazing how many people, and nothing wrong having a good time, nothing wrong going to a concert, as long as you can afford it. But I find it just absolutely amazing and shocking that there are so many broke people who continue to just run up debt so they can have a good time while the Titanic takes on water. The Titanic is going to continue to take on water. People are going to continue to ignore the warning signs, and these will be the people one day knocking at your door asking you to save them. And what you do is up to you. But I'm going to leave it there today. Have a great weekend. God bless every one of you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Would appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on any of this. Comment on anything you want to comment on. Really do appreciate it. Have a good day. Be careful out there. Say your prayers. Talk to all of you soon.